All right. Shalom, shalom. Now, before I continue on with this lesson, I would like to give all honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Chakwadash. Give it up honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace, love, and salutation, social hopeful elect that's been sincerely pushing the truth. I'm the brother Zakaria, coming at you from the Gemini Camp Atlanta Church, and as you can see, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Chakwadash. All right, that the whole world newly called God Jesus Christ. All right, in the Paleo Hebrew, his true name is Yahweh, meaning he exists, and the only begotten son name is Yahweh Shah, meaning he saves, or should I say savior or deliverer, because he's going to come back and save his people, for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. So shalom. Now, for today's lesson, we're going to touch up on Genesis, the 25th chapter, and we're going to get into prophecy on Esau and Jacob. Okay, now it was prophesied that Esau, basically, he was going to get blessed with the sword. All right, it was prophesied also as well that the earth was going to be given unto the hand of the wicked. And who's ruling today? Who's over everybody today? Okay, who was this earth given into the hand unto, or who was the earth given unto? Esau, Edom. The main enemy of our story. All right, so Genesis 25th chapter, and starting at verse 21. And it read, and Isaac entreated the Lord Yahweh for his wife. Yeah, because that's the order of things. Remember, scripture says, let everything be done decently and in order. Of course, you got Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, men, then woman. Okay, that's the order. And order was basically supping with the Lord. All right, over his household, which how it should be. So it says, and Isaac entreated the Lord Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord Yahweh was intrigued of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. So yes, man. All right. So basically, later on down the line, the moral of the story is this: Isaac went into Rebekah. Okay. And for those who don't know what that means, that's an act of marriage. All right. When you pop in your woman, that's the act of sex. Okay. So Isaac took his woman, and she was barren. So he prayed to Yahweh for her. And then it says what? And Rebekah, his wife, conceived. So later on down the line, she was able to have children. All right. Let's look at this word barren. Just right quick. Bear with me 1 second. Acquire. Oh.
Strong's H6135. Akar.
It says sterile. Sterile. Barren. Sterile. Let me see. Give me 1 sec. So basically, when you're sterile, basically you're unable to have children at the time, which means Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, he can basically do what he want to do as well. Okay, so let me go back. Going back to Genesis 25 and verse 21, and Isaac entreated the Lord Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren, so she was sterile. It says, and the Lord Yahweh was intrigued of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. Okay, so it says, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. So basically, the children that was in her womb, all right, eventually is going to get into it, but that's Esau and Jacob. And it was always a struggle between Esau and Jacob, all the way fast forward until today. That's what I meant to say, excuse me, okay? So-called 2025. There's always some conflict, tension, or perpetual hatred going on between both sides. But that's how the Lord created it. That's how Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, has ordained it. That's according to his will, okay? So this is the NLT, verse 21. It says, Isaac pleaded with the Lord on behalf of his wife. See, there it is right there. It says, because she was unable to have children, the Lord answered Isaac's prayer, and Rebekah became pregnant with twins. So there it is right there in the NLT, as you can see in verse 21. And I'm going to read verse 22 also in the NLT. And it says, and the two children struggled with each other in her womb. So yes, man, when you go into that word struggle, let's get it right quick. See, there's always been some type of tension or some type of conflict between us and Esau, man. Even today, man. It says to crush, oppress, okay? To crush, get crushed, be crushed, oppress. Yes, man, so we were struggling, going back and forth, all right? It says to crush each other, going all the way down here at the F definition. So we was going at it. Okay, let's go to the Strongs. It says, get right to the point, to crack in pieces. Damn. It says literally or figuratively, break, bruise, crush, discourage, oppress, struggle, together. You see? So going back to Genesis 25 and 22. Now this is the KJV, this is not the NLT. It says, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? So yeah, she was feeling every bit of that struggle, man. She was feeling every bit of, tug and pull, all right, movement. And hey, come on now. Ain't no telling what was really going on, but she was really feeling it. Okay, she was feeling it. So she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So take note right there. In verse 23, that's actual prophecy. Okay, that's literal as well. You do have one people stronger than the other. All right, there's no equality in that. There's no, unity in that. There's going to be one people, one group of people, one nation of people is going to be better than the other group of nation of people. You get what I'm saying? All right. One twin is going to have an offspring that's going to be stronger than the other twin that's going to have an offspring. Okay. And both sides is always going to have some type of conflict towards one another, because that's how the Lord created it. All right. Let's go to the NLT in verse 23. It says, and the Lord told her, the sons in your womb will become 2 nations. From the very beginning, the 2 nations will be rivals. See, there's no unity in that. There's no togetherness. There's no equality in that. The Lord has always separated Esau and Jacob from the bowels, 2 separate spirits. You have people saying, oh, they were twins, so they're both going to get saved. Esau can be saved with Jacob. Or since there was twins, the promises goes out to both of them. No. One son got one promise. The other son got the other promise. Matter of fact, there ain't no promise when it comes to Esau. Let me correct myself. Esau receives some blessings, okay? And Jacob receives promises and blessings. A major upgrade. So let's get it. It says, or you can say promise, but you get what I'm saying, all right? It says, and the Lord told her, the sons in your womb will become 2 nations. From the very beginning, the 2 nations will be rivals. One nation will be stronger than the other, and your older son will serve your younger son. There it is right there. So the elder shall serve the younger. Keep that in mind. The older son shall serve the younger son. When you serving somebody, what do that sound like? That sounds like what? Slavery. A form of servitude. You're serving someone. You showing service to somebody else. Okay? And that's not talking about right now. Even though we are serving Esau, but this is a future prophecy. This is talking about the kingdom of heaven. Continuing on to verse 24 in the KJV, it says, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. Continuing on, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they call his name Esau. Yeah, in the Paleo Hebrew, Ashashua. Okay, which means wasted away is he, or just simply wasted away. Let me get that. Esau. Ashashua.
Strong's H 6215.
Ashashua.
Esau. Strong's H 6215. Esau.
It says Esau, hairy, he's very hairy, eldest son of Isaac and Rebekah. Okay, so he's the eldest. It says, and twin brother Jacob sold the birthright for food when he was hungry, and the divine blessing went to Jacob, progenitor of, okay, that's off, but you get the point. It's going to actually get into that. Continuing on, it says, verse 26 now, it says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. So yes, so Esau came out first. He's that older son. So he's going to be serving the younger son, later on, according to prophecy. Because we just read it. It says, and after that, his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. Yeah, Yaiquab, which means what? Supplant. Okay, his name was Yaiquab in the Paleo Hebrew. And Yaiquab took a hold of Esau's heel. All right? And it symbolizes something. It's symbolic. Okay, it's symbolic as if what? I'm going to take you down. All right? And we're seeing that taking down process slowly but surely happening in today's prophecy. Esau's being exposed. Esau's being discovered. Okay, he can't hide like he used to. And he's being exposed as the devil he is today. And eventually, once the Lord come back, he's going to be stripped from his power seat, man. From the throne. The earth, hey, how can I put it? Dominion is going to be transferred. Okay? Domination is going to be transferred, man. And Israel's going to be on top. Esau's dominant right now, and the earth is mourning. The earth is crying. We hurt. But Israel as soon is going to be on top. Okay? So he was hairy. All over like a hairy garment. So they call his name Esau. I said Esau. That's off. Esau, excuse me. Ashashua. All right? So damn hairy. Had no pigmentation. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold, on Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years when she bare them. Okay? And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. Let's get that in the NLT in verse 27. It says, as the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter. So yes, man. Fast forward today. Do they love to hunt? Yes. Okay. They be all into different hunting competition. Shooting squirrels, shooting raccoons, shooting birds in the sky, shooting ducks, shooting those frisbees that they love to shoot. They love to hunt. That's their nature. That's their characteristic. That it goes back to their manner. Okay? And what I mean by that is, if you go back up, it says 2 manner of people shall be separated. Their mannerism, their characteristic, who they are. Okay? So going back, damn, where I left off at. Going back to verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, so he liked to be outside. Okay? Matter of fact, let's go back to the NLT. It says he was an outdoorsman. So he loved to be outside. Do they love to be outside today? Yes, look at them. Bro, when it be, cold outside in the wintertime, cold as hell, they'll still go camping. Okay? When it's hot outside, they'll still go camping. When it's raining, they'll still be out camping. When it's snowing, they'll still be out camping. They'll still go hunt. They'll still be outside, man. It says, and Jacob had a quiet temperament, preferring to stay home. See? Just like Jake today, they love to chill at the house, chill at the crib, play the video game, watch sports. Do what Jake do. Now, is this about a black and white thing? No. Because you still got some of our people who might like to hunt. Okay? You might got some Edomites who actually might stay at home. But here go the thing. If your lineage, if your genealogy, if your lineage goes back to Esau, Edom, you're through. Simple as that. That's all I'm saying. Verse 28, and Isaac loved Jacob. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. But Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sought pottage. And Esau came from the field, and he was faint. So one day Jacob was getting down. He was cooking. All right? He was cooking some stew. And then Esau, he came from the field. He came from outside. The wild, the wilderness. Okay? And they said he was faint. So he was exhausted. He was tired. And he was hungry. Let's continue on in verse 30. It says, and Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage. That red pottage? Hold on. Red? You ain't gonna let it cook first, Esau? You don't want to eat it well done when it's ready to get eaten. So the moral of the story is this: Esau was willing to eat raw meat, and he did, because it's gonna get into that. Okay. He said, "Feed me." So he was acting faint, tired, exhausted, starving. Oh, feed me. Okay. And he wanted that red stew. He wanted something raw. All right. It says, therefore was his name called Edom. So you're not going to be a Joshua no more. You're going to be Idawam. That's an Imperial Hebrew, Edom, which means red, literally. The red man, you know what I'm saying? He's a red man walking. Verse 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. So give me your birthright. Oh, you want this raw meat? You want this red, bloody raw meat? You nasty MFer. You want this raw meat, don't you? Well, give me your birthright. Verse 32. Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. and what profit shall this birthright do to me? So he didn't even want his birthright. He didn't see the he didn't see he didn't understand or want to understand or want to receive the meaningful impact. I'm gonna say it like that. You know, to be able to inherit the birthright. Okay? Let that sit in, man. Sink in. He didn't want nothing to do with the birthrights. The rights and the blessings you're going to get for being born first. If you want to put it in a way like that. Okay? Let's look at that in the NLT. It says, "Look, I'm dying of starvation," said Esau. "What good is my birthright to me now?" Let's go to verse 33. But Jacob said, "First, you must swear that your birthright is mine." That's why you should watch when you swear. Scripture says what? For every idle word. It says, so Esau swore an oath. So it was a promise. Thereby selling all his rights as the firstborn to his brother Jacob. All for some raw, nasty meat. For some rubbery, chewy, uncooked food. Because you know it get rubbery. You gave up your birthrights, Esau, and you can't get them back. Let's go back to the KJV, verse 34. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. Pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So he didn't like his birthright anyway. Let's go back to the NLT. It says, then Jacob gave Esau some bread and lentil stew. Esau ate the meal, then got up and left. He showed contempt for his rights as the firstborn. Yeah, man. That's what Esau get. So yeah, that was a quick account on Esau and Jacob on what went down and how the birthright was given unto us. Okay, and of course further on within other chapters, it's going to get into the blessings of Esau and Jacob, and that's basically it, man. So Lord willing, whoever tuned in within this lesson, Lord willing, was edifying unto you. I'm gonna close the lesson up by giving all honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua, Bahasham, Chakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And peace, love, and salutations towards your hopeful elect. That's been sincerely pushing the truth. Until the next lesson, Shalom.